Hey ratbags, it's Jade presenting to you today a whole bunch of different upcoming survival games and ones that maybe you've missed that are already out across Xbox, PlayStation or PC, especially if you do like games like Grounded, Ark and maybe Palworld. I'm loving Grounded 2 at the moment, but there's going to be big gaps in between some of their larger content drops, so what else is there to play? At the end of the video, I'm also going to give you some options that you can play right now. You don't have to wait until they launch, and some really good stuff that you might want to check out. So leave a like if you find this video useful, and make sure you subscribe for the best in Grounded 2 and similar games, guides, content and gameplay. Let's go. So first off, I can't deny a whole bunch of these games are going to be PC only at first as they enter early access. Why? Simply because it's expensive and time consuming getting it ready for all platforms, although there are a few exceptions. Echoes of Alisium is a sky survival game, and you're going to see a lot of them in this video today. It seems to be a growing trend, being able to customise and build your own airship as you explore floating lands, gathering resources and taking on a variety of different enemies. This one's got a little bit more of a steampunk feel about it, with that kind of Pixar Fortnite vibe. The ships are highly customisable. It is a co-op or single player focused game, no PvP. Up to 6 players can join together in a mix of RPG, exploration and creation, according to the Steam page. When's it coming out? Not too sure about that, probably next year, but they have got a demo incoming very soon. Another sky survival-esque RPG open world game, this is Guardians of the Wild Sky. Coming to PC and PlayStation 5 apparently soon. It's made by the people that made Citadel Forged with Fire, if anyone remembers that survival game. That's on consoles now, good few years ago, mixing fantasy and magic, and it seems to be the same case here, but with more of a Palworld and Ark vibe. You'll be able to bond with lots of different creatures you find out in the world, being able to take on their shape and form by looks of things, as well as utilise their skills and abilities. They may have to watch their back, as it does seem to have a lot of similar mechanics to Pokemon in throwing spheres to hopefully capture creatures or tame them, and we know something about that since Palworld are currently still maybe in court fighting against Nintendo. It's set to be a giant world. I'm a little bit concerned about these types of games, how performance will run when the worlds are so big, and it has got some crazy base customization. Maybe even more so than Echoes of Alisium, this one does seem to be focused on just going mad with whatever kind of airship you can build. It will be single player, it will be co-op, again no PvP, and hopefully it might actually be coming to PC and PlayStation 5 sooner than we think. I'm gonna hope that this game's cool. Like I said, Citadel Forged Fire didn't really do it for me enough. It was kind of a bit of a cash grab rush job in the end, as it was in early access on PC for a good couple of years, not really getting as many updates. Then suddenly it was launching on Xbox and PlayStation. And I know some fans really enjoyed it, but it was kind of clunky and just had a lot of issues. But maybe the devs have learned from all that and hopefully bringing us something like this, mixing mechanics of Palworld, Ark, and obviously their previous game. If you are a PlayStation player watching this, well, at least you've got something maybe to look forward to, as you kind of do get stiffed quite a lot from these early access survival games. What's that? You want another sky survival game? Well, here we go. Here is Everwind, another Sky Islands open world survival game, mixing maybe more RPG elements as you scour up for resources in all sorts of different islands, trying to upgrade your gear to get better weapons and armour. The difference here, it's in that very much Minecraft inspired world. Again, you'll have a ship that you can customise, there'll be plenty of places with different types of biomes to go and explore, with a more fantastical feel, obviously giving you lots of co-op, and to be honest, the worlds look pretty good, even if people are going to maybe unfairly give it a Minecraft clone moniker. It's made by a small team and published by the same people that make DayZ. Another one that's going to have a demo available soon, apparently on PC, but don't expect it to hit consoles for a while yet. But yeah, I definitely like the customization of all these games with these airships, and there is something about the blocky nature that reminds me like of a good Minecraft mod maybe. The higher you go, apparently the more difficult you'll face encounters from all sorts of enemies like skeletons, wild creatures and ghosts. I'm hoping there's definitely a bit more of a mechanical feel with the things like the balloons keeping the ship airtight, and that you may have to do a lot of construction to keep the ship actually running in the right way. Some other really cool stuff like being able to use your glider going across. I do believe it's only going to be first person only though, so that's something to bear in mind. It's got a ton of different gear, weapons and armour sets to get your teeth into. supporting all different types of playstyles, whether it be rogue, mage, fighter, you get the idea. Pretty sure this will come to console in the future, but yeah, definitely a PC launch only at first. Finally, a game not set in the skies. This is Everlast Undying Tale. It's a bit more of an MMO style and definitely inspired by games like obviously RuneScape. It's going to have pretty much a similar or same skill system where you'll get proficient in things like woodcutting, mining, blacksmithing and of course combat. The promise in this as a large scale game that you can take your progress and your character to multiple different worlds and play with all sorts of different players and of course your friends. Made by a tiny little team, it does look like it won't be actually out until next year, and another one that's going to be only PC at launch. I'll be talking a little bit about RuneScape in a little while, Dragon Wilds. I'm hoping this one can really differentiate itself from that game and some others. More pirate life fun in Crosswind. This is a game that's going to be coming out on PC, I'm sure, early next year, and it's had a bunch of different demos available. And you know what? It's pretty cool. Survive on a tropical island as you build up resources to make your own ship and begin your life as a pirate. Devs have just recently announced that they won't be adding PvP zones after all, and less of a focus on it being an MMO, but instead just a regular co-op game that you'll play with friends. Combat's pretty simple at the moment, and the base building has got a lot of merits to it for sure. If you Billy no mates, i.e. you don't have any friends, well, don't worry, you can recruit NPC helpers to help you. And yeah, it's coming to consoles in the future as well as maybe mobile. Tribes of Midgard came out a few years ago. It was like a top-down survival roguelike game. Really enjoyed it, set in a Norse world. This is giving me similar vibes, but in a third-person type game. Full base building, go ahead and put your walls and your foundations wherever you want as you try and get new gear, face off against goblins and other creatures, but also wary of big storms. It's got a little studio behind it, but does look like they've got alpha playtests coming soon, and again only on PC for now. But I like the mix of being able to build bases against cliffs or in the trees, and it's ticking all the boxes for biomes and usual skullduggery as you explore caves and more. I think the art style was pretty unique, and that's what sets it apart from some of the other games. So yeah, I'm getting a little bit more hype for this one. The previous games weren't really in no order, but the next two are definitely something I'm more curious and hyped for. This is Autonomica. It's trying to be every type of game. Cozy farm building, go and grab your creatures, raise your livestock and grow your crops. Then it's chucking a whole bunch of automation into the game, literally like Satisfactory, being able to connect water pipes, use renewable energy to power your technology to mine resources or gather them and refine them into things that you need. Then it slips into like Fortnite PvP mode as you can explore certain places at night time where you'll have to watch your back for spectral interdimensional creatures and other players. Yes, other players can attack you in these lands and might actually be able to take some of your gear. It is a really odd one, this. It is made by a publisher and a studio that's been around a while now, Creativo, and the gameplay clips we've seen are pretty solid, but the idea that it's trying to just pretty much appeal to every type of gamer remains to be seen if it's going to be something accessible. They're saying that you'll be able to just choose what you want to do. You don't have to take part in the PvP if you don't want to, so no worrying about your base getting demolished. And it has got a good emphasis on the social aspects, as you will have to go to towns and talk to people and befriend them and stuff to maybe get progress or unlock new recipes. It's got some of the biggest customization I've ever seen in an open world game like this, literally being able to choose a multitude of things like wallpapers, take shape with your windows in any style, any form. So let's hope it can actually live up to the hype. And good news, it has been announced it will be coming to consoles in the future too. But still, the biggest game I'm looking forward to is Under a Rock. Co-op multiplayer up to 10 players as you try and survive on tropical procedurally generated islands. Although apparently we may be hitting some snow as well. Add to that volcanoes, changing weather and a whole host of different ancient creatures and Neanderthal enemies to face, Under a Rock is hopefully going to deliver on all it's promising. The devs have been pretty busy in the last few months, showing off more and more clips and gameplay. Although keeping their release news or info closer to their chest, I would expect to hopefully see some sort of announcement at the Game Awards, as we did get a big revealing trailer last time I do believe, and likely to release next year. Again, one that will be coming to Xbox and PlayStation in the future as well, but more than likely going to be appearing on Early Access PC first, unless they do some sort of deal with either one of the consoles to be exclusive for a while. So what does it offer? Tiki base of building, like I said, in a tropical format for the most part, huge procedure generated landscapes, and a whole host of creatures that you'll be able to tame. Not only that, use them to mount as you use other means of traversal like wing glider and grapple hooks to get around. Freely build anywhere, including caves, while you face off and fight against these Neanderthal creatures with a whole host of variants. I said devs have done a great job recently of showing off more clips and stuff, so I'm going to compile them all together, give you more info in a separate video. Under a Rock is definitely on my hot wish list as number 1. Recent combat they showed off looked pretty crisp and clean as well, and that was something I was a bit concerned about, but nope, it does look to be pretty similar to things like Grounded and stuff, with dodge, parry abilities and more. And yeah, out of all the games you've seen so far, this is the one that will go hand in hand, side by side, Grounded, when it eventually does release, hopefully maybe next year. So that's the future, but what about games right now? Well, Oppidum is coming along. This was a bit of a weird one, kind of came out of nowhere as being announced, has come to Xbox and PlayStation. I thought it'd be early access, turns out no, it's got very similar vibes to a lot of the games we've seen. I didn't really gel enough with this though. There was a few problems with progression in the early stages and it just felt kind of a little bit too bland and boring. Definitely a bit more of a cozy, maybe younger style vibe game if you're playing with family members. It did release on PlayStation and Xbox. Something to bear in mind, it offers no offline capability to play, which is really weird and stupid decision if you ask me. Tales of Aghasba was a game that I covered and hyped for years across this channel and my actually older survival channel, and it finally released on PC and PlayStation 5. However, it ended up being a bit disappointing. At first I was willing to give them a break. I knew they was a small team and had spent so long trying to develop something pretty cool. Imagine Viva Pinata but in a more adult, mature themed world. Reminiscent though with Studio Ghibli style art. You can try and encourage creatures to basically spawn by replenishing the land, growing seeds into trees that would then spread into different biomes. Creatures look crazy, the combat and the style of effects really did seem to blend Studio Ghibli, maybe even with something like Breath of the Wild. But it did have issues when it launched and it just had too many bugs and things that really should have been checked, like even just inventory size was painfully small with massive progress blockers for a lot of people, which left Steam reviews in a pretty negative state. But since then, they're starting to turn the corner. The reviews are now at 83% positive on Steam. They've had over 10 updates offering content and much needed quality of life improvements, with their last major content drop adding even more ways to grow and make the environment around you a little bit more green and lush as you try and turn the barren land into something livable and actually nice to look at. They've had consistent updates, like I said, with bug fixing and quality of life as well, so it's really good to see that Tales of Aghasba is trundling along, adding new content. It still needs massive improvements to the combat for me, maybe also the way that you can plan out your settlements, with no real base building in this one. Instead you plonk down buildings that will help you gather resources or unlock NPCs to talk to. And yeah, it'd be nice to get a bit more ecosystem interactions between a lot of the creatures that you encourage to come and spawn versus some of the dark ones that you're effectively pushing out or removing. Ultimately, it did just get a bit too repetitive and grindy for me, exploring lands that just didn't really have enough interesting points, but I'm looking forward to revisiting this in the near future. Voyages has just released on PC in early access, and again, another kind of cozy Fortnite-esque Pixar vibe with the graphics. This time, you're not going around in the skies, you are sailing the seas, exploring a multitude of different islands and archipelagos, trying to harness the power of nature and spirits to help you along the way. Some really cool ways to get across, including these skimmers as well as ships, as you take on all sorts of golems, dimensional mobs and a lot more, including some pretty big creatures. Building systems a bit similar in terms of not being able to directly place different types of walls, instead you edit some of the pods that you put, giving yourself a little bit more freedom and adding extensions, but a lot of focus on decorating and cozy vibes. Find and unlock more spirits to give you more abilities and special powers, and yeah, check it out on Steam Early Access right now. And another one where you set sail is Salt 2. Now this has been out a couple years now, and I was hailing this as maybe the next Valheim. Sadly, it just didn't gain enough traction when it launched, as they really didn't have the budget, I'm guessing, to promote or market the game. But it's come a long way. They're stuck with it despite maybe not having the best sales, and they've just launched the co-op update. so you can now play Salt 2 with your friends. So why play this when you can go ahead and play Sea of Thieves? Well, this is a PvE experience focused more on story and progress, exploring new lands, taking on board new treasures and fulfilling quests for NPCs. With that removal of the PvP element, this might just be a little bit more of a quieter affair. You can customise and decorate your ship as you progress and obviously unlock new ones. And now with the introduction of co-op, it feels like they've come a long way with various different updates. I'm definitely going to be checking this out soon. Still only PC for the moment, fingers crossed if they carry on doing well with their 1.0 release eventually coming, they'll be able to launch it on consoles in the future. So I did mention RuneScape Dragon Wilds a little bit earlier, and of course that game only came out in April and it has been trundling along. I wouldn't say the updates for it have been amazing so far, adding things like archery and mage skills which really should have been there from the start. They have just added creative mode to it though, so if base building or just having more of a cozy, peaceful life is your vibe, that might be something to get you back into it. But so far their roadmap of plans hints at a great future, but right now it's pretty similar to Grounded 2, that maybe content drops with lots of big stuff will be few and far between. Hopefully worth it when they actually arrive, but for now it's probably not still ready for me to go and revisit RuneScape just yet. It is, if you don't know, very much based on the RuneScape IP, but again now with survival and RPG mechanics set in a third person view. It's all really simple. You get different armors to suit your style of ranger, fighter or mage. Explore unique environments and biomes like swamps, mountains and lava filled areas, but also being wary of dragons that patrol and may have to encounter and fight occasionally. So yeah, I reckon once they've got their next big content drop, which I don't think is actually happening until early next year, that's the time for me to definitely give this a proper revisit. Steam PC only, I wouldn't expect to see it on consoles until at least 1.0, which is probably a good another year and a half away. And right now, I gotta say, you're probably looking to try Smalland out. It's had a ton of updates since its 1.0 release. It did release way too early without some of them features, but it does seem to be in a good state. They've added a bunch of new content, new explorable underworld with all sorts of new crazy creatures to go and tame, and just a lot of love given to it over the last year and a bit. I was pretty critical of its 1.0 launch. It did feel like it was just rushed out. They ended up letting go of quite a few of their development staff as the company behind it got bought out by another. They've revamped taming, they've added a whole bunch of new biomes and explorable spaces. The base building and the ability to transport your base from tree to tree was really something pretty unique. And I really was hyping this up as maybe a grounded killer. There are of course plenty of other games I'm sure you already know lots about, including Powerworld, maybe even Ark Ascended itself, but personally these are the types of games that I would like to revisit at the moment. So let me know what you think of them. Have you tried any? What do you think about the upcoming games? Any of them that really pique your interest? Is it enough to take you away from Grounded 2? Of course, I've still got plenty of Grounded 2 content incoming. I will be taking a little look at new Core Keeper stuff soon, but yeah, until next time, Ratbags, laters!